Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to our Spring to Action Live at 5 on Wednesdays. We've been highlighting various aspects of Spring to Action 2021, and I'm so pleased today to be joined by these wonderful business leaders. And I just realized I didn't introduce myself. I'm Susan Fleischman with ZTV, and I'm joined today by Lauren Fisher from the Delray Business Association, Amy Rutherford from the Old Town Business Association, and Britt Patterson from the Patterson Group. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Sure.
Thank
Well,
you.
sure. This year's Spring to Action, as you know, we've been highlighting a lot of the different nonprofits in the area and all the wonderful work that they do. But for tonight's session, talking with you guys, business leaders in the area, I'm wondering if we can kind of take a closer look at the business aspect of Spring to Action and how supporting the community is so strategic for you. And let's start with you, Amy Rutherford. Can you talk about, like the value of Spring to Action and what it's meant for your business association?
Oh, sure. I Spring to Action is my favorite day of the year. It's just amazing. The whole town seems to be coming together for people who need help. It's a feel good. It's really a feel good day, and that's our number one reason for being a part of it. It's to help our community, to help the people who need the help, need it the most. Um, at, these are our neighbors. These are our friends. These are people who come into they're our customers. They're our, a fellow, humans that we want to to impact in a positive way. So that's why we do it.
Mm-hmm.
Red Barn's been doing it for, I think, 6 years now. And Penny Post, this will be our fourth year. And we're super excited to participate.
Yeah,
It's
it's really
amazing.
Act for Alexandria is just an amazing organization, and they've really built something really huge out of nothing. I mean, just that they've just grown it every
Yeah.
year. Britt Patterson, can you talk to Spring to Action a little bit?
Absolutely. So we sell real estate, and I tell everybody we don't sell you a home, we sell you a community and a lifestyle, and how Spring to Action supports, depending between 133 this year, I bet that will grow, and 156 different charities that support different things. We come together as a community to support what's important to you as an individual. And it's about the number of people that give, not the amount that is given. So everybody, whether it's $1, I believe the minimum donation is $5, or it's $1,000, the ability to give whatever you have, however big or small that is, to support what you are passionate about, to grow the community that we all love and support what makes Alexandria so great, which is the people, is why we continue to give and get involved.
Yeah, it's so true. And I want to come back to that one more second. But Lauren Fisher, let's go to you. And Delray Business Association is such a fabulous organization. Can you talk a little bit about Spring to Action for Delray?
Sure. I think Amy said about the excitement. As a citizen living here in Alexandria, I've always participated, but not as a business. So this year, we're really excited to be using our platform to as a business association, and started by Amy and some others, to encourage us to get more of the businesses to be able to be involved. And in Delray, we have a long history of working with nonprofits, and I think for all the reasons these ladies have stated, but it strengthens our ties to the community, right? Like, we're all supporting each other, and we need to support each other. At times, we've needed support, and I think we're stronger together. And most people, honestly, I find, do want to. I've never found someone who has not felt great from helping others, and I think most people genuinely feel really good when they're able to nurture, share, help others. But sometimes they just don't know how to do it, or they don't do it. So I think what's so great about Spring to Action, all this attention and the businesses bringing just funneling and helping people connect to the causes that are important to them. It's a great concept, and we are super excited to be part of it on the business side this year.
Yeah, I think you really hit the nail on the head with nobody ever walked away going, "Oh, that felt really bad helping somebody," right? I mean, you just feel
Mhm.
so good, and everybody knows whether you volunteer or the giving is better than the receiving. I mean, we all know that's true, and most of us have experienced that firsthand. Um, can you talk a little bit to? I know that last year, Spring to Action or Act for Alexandria moved up to Spring to Action because everything was just so crazy last year. So, what kind of a difference did that make? Did you notice in your community? Let's start with you, Britt.
Oh my gosh, it was a reason for us all to come together. It virtually, I think it was honestly one of the first ways we all learned to come together virtually, or what were we, 10 feet apart at that point outside? But it was while we were all scared and desperate for communication and for the community we rely on, it was the first event that brought us together. And to know that not only did it bring us together, but we exceeded goals from the previous year, I mean, I think speaks to the power of Alexandria and the strength these charities have on our hearts and our community.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really something. And Britt, did you just right before we came on the air, we were talking about, and this is to your point that you made before about it's not necessarily how much people are giving, but how many people are giving. And do you have some of those numbers from last year?
Of course. So I wrote them down, not to screw them up. Eight, get them right. 8,453 individuals gave last year. That doesn't
Wow.
include businesses. But if you think about almost 8,500 individuals got together and gave for a total of $2.45 million, that's amazing. That
Amazing.
absolutely amazing. So
Yeah.
that averages about, not to scare anybody, $290 a person, but most of those donations are actually under $100. So
Right.
again, the purpose of Spring to Action is to come together and give whatever you can to support what you're passionate about. This is a quantity event. We want everybody involved and engaged. We will take whatever money you're willing to part with.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And there are so many participating organizations, and if anybody wants to see what organizations and kind of choose, and you can give to more than one. I mean, if you can afford to give a little bit less and you want to give to more than one, don't feel you have to be roped into giving, put all your eggs in one basket. Amy, I saw you nodding your head. Do you want to talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, I want to piggyback on to what Britt's saying. What's great about Spring to Action is a couple of things. First of all, it's an equalizer. Like she said, whether you have, no matter where you are in the class spectrum, $10 you might be able to afford. So everybody can, or most everybody can give to a cause that they support or something that's important to them. And back to what Lauren was saying, and feel really good about it. So I really appreciate that. And then the other thing that's really great about Spring to Action is this multiplying effect. So, and this goes back to sort of what we're doing with business fundraisers, is that the way that this succeeds is when I tell everybody I know about the organizations that I love. Or in the case of the business fundraisers, just telling our customers about the day who maybe have never heard of it before. This might be the first time. They go online because I asked them to. And people give to people they know. And they'll give because I asked, because Britt asked, because Lauren asked. And because they care about us, they trust us, and they trust you out there who are going to ask as well. And that brings in new donors for these nonprofits, which is the lifeblood of their growth. So everybody needs a new pipeline of customers or donors in this case. And that's one of the big things that Spring to Action offers. So last year we did almost 8,500 people participate. This year the goal is 10,000, and I firmly believe that we can make that number happen. It's just a matter of everybody getting out there and asking their mom, their dad, their dog walker, their cousin, their neighbor, whoever is in their address book or contacts list, to support one or many causes that they have. And like you said, Susan, as many as you can support, as much as you can support them. The need is absolutely there, and these nonprofits know how to make this money go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
And I'd love to add to that. I know a lot of us are afraid to ask for money, and those of us that are afraid, just post that you gave on social media. You don't have to be in BD and stand around with your hand open begging. I gave. There's a lot of, and we're happy to send you any links, graphics, anything, but just post that you gave on social media. Your sphere of, 200 or 5,000, at least then we'll know and recognize. And if they hear it from Amy, me, and Lauren, they're more likely to give.
That's an excellent point. That is really an excellent point. And there are so many, ways to give, and everybody is so active on social media. It's really a wonderful channel for getting that out. And it's, talk about, copying behavior. If imitation is, a sign of a form of flattery, right? I'm loving that. This is the most sincere form of flattery. But it is true. And go ahead, Lauren.
Well, I would say I like the philosophies they're mentioning. Historically, if anyone mentioned fundraising, I would cringe. It's not anything I've ever done. So I'm a very atypical fundraiser, and I like to just sort of be like, this is the cool thing and everybody's doing it and spread the word. But, because people want to be part of something, but then every dollar matters, like Britt said, $5 makes a difference, right? And one of the things that we're doing with Delaware Business Association, and I'll be honest, it was hard to ask some of our businesses who are struggling to donate money. We did, of course, open them, but we wanted to give some different options for them to participate if they weren't able to financially do it. So we, there's we went up and down the avenue today because I'm very grassroots. I like, handouts and posters. And so almost all the restaurants are putting it in their to-go bags. Stores and retail are pushing it. So that concept that I think Amy and Britt have been probably doing for years, but I'm learning now, it is, how many people can you just spread the word and the network to? So it'll be interesting. I like numbers, so I'm hoping we can help everyone reach over 10,000. That would be great.
That would be fantastic. And I also like that, the no pressure and it is just getting the word out. And even when times are bad, in fundraising, it's one of the biggest kind of rules of thumb is to don't stop asking, even when things are down, because everybody's in the same boat and everybody is still hurting. So you have to keep asking, and asking is uncomfortable, but the work that these nonprofits are doing is so essential, and you're affected by it in your community, right? You're affected by how everybody else and how all of your neighbors are doing. I think that we've just really seen that, especially in the pandemic. We're kind of seeing how that total group health really gets everybody in better stead, right?
And the pandemic has made these charities even more in need. The added costs for just cleaning supplies and sanitation. Just that alone has been added to their budget when they weren't expecting to have to do that, or social distancing measures. So really the need is even bigger than it was.
Absolutely. The need is so much greater. And also, and they don't have as you said, they don't have the in-person volunteering, and especially the charities who are feeding people have tripled and quadrupled, the amount of people that they have to feed. So the need has really never been greater. It sounds so cliche, but it's so true. It really is so true. Moving forward, what are some of your goals for 2021, and businesses or associations that you're running that will benefit from Spring to Action as well? What are some of the goals that you have for that? Lauren, how about we start with you?
What are our goals as a business association?
Yes, for 2021 and, for Spring to Action.
Well, honestly, I think we're going to establish a baseline this year. I really, again, not being a fundraiser, have no idea whether it's realistic to shoot for 5,000 or 50,000. I have no idea. We're just going to encourage people to donate as much as we can and see where we are. And that's just kind of our motto. We have nine of the participating nonprofits are our business association members. So we are highlighting them, but we of course are encouraging everyone to donate to the charity of their cause, or of their, you know what I want to
Choosing.
Choice.
You know what I'm saying?
Choice.
Thank you.
Uh-huh,
Thank
uh-huh.
you. Like it's the end of the day, right? So but also for us, we I don't know, we always like everything to be done with raffles and incentives. So we have some prizes that we're offering and incentives. We do have for largest donor, $100 certificate to a local restaurant. We also have some raffle prize buckets and baskets. So if whoever donates $10 or more is eligible. So it's just kind of a little fun thing to pull at the end. And then we have some money set aside also for the nonprofit. And if we happen to win, I don't know if we will, but Burke and Herbert has some prize money for the business associations. I believe they have $1,000 worth of prizes, and Amy can speak a little bit more to that. But if we were to win, that will go to the nonprofit that has the most designations. So that's an incentive. But we do have one more fun thing that we only Delray people probably will appreciate this, or I can only speak to Delray people. But on the side of Stomping Ground, there's all these dog murals. Have you guys seen them where people are getting they're getting their dogs' faces? So there's a whole bunch of them. One of the artists is doing in town. So apparently there's a 200 person wait list to get your dog's face painted, right? So
Wow.
we are very fortunate that the artist is allowing one of those spaces to be auctioned off or saved for Spring to Action. So what we're going to do is tie that in as a little benefit that anyone who makes a donation to the Animal Welfare League of Alexandria, $10 or more, will be eligible to skip the line and get their dogs.
That is such a great idea. I love that.
Yeah.
And Alexandria, every neighborhood in Alexandria is such a dog town. I mean, that's just a fun, unique, really effort that everybody can get behind, you know. So, yeah, that is a great idea.
But
Amy,
I'll just say also,
go ahead.
I mean, our goal is just to spread the word. I don't know if this happens with you ladies, but I was surprised how many people didn't know about Spring to Action. And I'm like, how do you not know? It seems like it's plastered everywhere, but it's also exciting to know that we're spreading the word to other people. So that's
well, yeah. And with that awareness, hopefully, again, the numbers, the goal numbers are going to be reached because so many more people are I think are tuned in. And also I think that, and I'll let you guys speak to this as well, but I think that the pandemic has made us all realize how much more connected we are. And I kind of said that before, but in addition to these nonprofits being so strapped and in such need, they've also shown amazing resilience and innovation and creativity and resourcefulness and still getting that help to people in need. I mean, it's really been something to watch. And I think it really speaks to the uniqueness of Alexandria and the camaraderie that goes on between the businesses and the nonprofits. Anybody want to jump in with any comments on that?
I couldn't agree with you more. I think, I think that there is the symbiotic relationship between, or there really can be. And I think Spring to Action, particularly this year with 43 businesses and counting participating, which is up from 9 last year, really is going to create a stronger bond with the nonprofit community. Small business in particular, the statistics show that they give 300 times more back to their community than big box stores. And we do that again because these are our neighbors, because these are family and friends. They're our community, and we're connected to them, and it's so important. This year, I won't keep going on and on. Everybody knows what the need is because of the pandemic, and I sort of want to say something, piggyback onto something Lauren said earlier about these businesses, particularly the restaurants. I mean, retail has struggled for sure, but restaurants even more so, with not having in-person dining, and takeout is the only way we can, or the biggest way they're making their money. But they are still reaching into their pockets to donate to these causes.
Yep.
And that's tremendous. And I think that speaks to the giving nature of this community of Alexandria. I think back to what you're saying, Susan, it really is what makes us so unique, and a wonderful place to live and work and do business in.
Yeah.
It's great.
I agree. Britt, go ahead.
So-
Looks like you have something to say. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I have a lot. I have so much to say.
I
Nobody's
know.
surprised
It's
by
great.
that. When Amy and I get done hiring a dog photographer or sketcher or something to come to my patio, because that'll
Exactly.
skip the line. I'm a big animal welfare supporter myself. I'm like, oh, how many am I going to give to that? Patterson Group is going to do a outdoor socially distanced bar class with Bar 3 in Old Town. That's something, if you wanted to socially distance, engage, come wearing your mask and see some people, we'll be doing that. And Patterson Group is also doing Power Hour sponsors for the group that gets, again, the most donors, not the most money. We will be giving $500 on certain hours to those groups. But one of the things I love about this day, and what was so different from last year, is we are slowly allowed to come out of our homes, where I'm fully vaxxed. I've heard half vaxxed. We're all, we're vaxxed, we're masking, we're wearing our masks, and see each other again. So to come together in the name of charity, and to come together and support the businesses that, thank God, they survived the last 13 months, and then have them take money out of their pocket to support nonprofits. I mean, if that doesn't motivate you to get out and then support the local businesses that are supporting these charities, what will? So I'm so excited for next week. It's my favorite day of the year. It's like Christmas.
It is like
Mine too,
Christmas.
Britt.
It's such a unique
Yeah.
day, and we're looking forward to it as well. Britt, you guys and Lauren, Britt and Lauren, you gave a lot of information about. Is there a website that you can give where people can kind of look up and see, help them with that? Why don't we start with you, Britt?
Absolutely. Well, hashtag everything you do and everything you do leading up, Spring2, the letter 2, action, ACT. It's also on the top of our screen, but hashtag that. And if you go to spring2action.org, you will see everything everything going on that day, whether it's virtual or matching or you name it, you'll find it there. And of course, I live on Instagram. I'm Life of BAP or Patterson Real Estate Group, and I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Great, fantastic. And Lauren, can you give your website address? And I'm sorry I didn't have it up on the screen beforehand.
Yeah, no problem. I would piggyback on Britt's to say to check out the business fundraisers in particular, because as she said, each one lists what they're doing, and it's very informative. So, for us, for Delray Psych and Wellness, which is my business, we're teaming with a bunch of wellness people, and we have also some giveaways for wellness services. But for the overall business association, visit Delray is the main website and social media. So I'd be following, if you're not already, on Facebook, in particular, and Instagram, because we'll be highlighting little classes and different things that are being done throughout the next week. So
Terrific. And I just put some of those addresses in the comment box for people to go and check them out. And Amy, did you have a website address for people to check out?
Yeah, we're oldtownbusiness.org.
Okay.
So take a look at us there. I'm obviously redbarnmercantile.com and pennypost.com. And I did want to not get away without telling you what Old Town Business is doing, because I'm not sure we're going to be able to beat Delray. I thought we would, but they've got some heavy duty stuff going on. And what's so great about Spring to Action is this friendly competition. It's fun, and I like the analogy of it's like Christmas, but I also like the analogy of it's like election day. And we know election day around here, but in this case, everybody wins. You're looking at that leaderboard, seeing who's raising the most money, the most dollars, the most donors, and it's just fun. I'm refreshing all day long. But what's great about the business fundraisers this year is that Delray Business and Old Town Business are going to duke it out for prize money, like Lauren said earlier, from Burke and Herbert Bank, where the businesses and the associations that raise the most dollars in donors will each receive $500. So it's actually $2,000 worth of prize money that will go back to the associations from Burke and Herbert Bank. That's not really why we're doing it. That's just sort of icing on the cake. But ultimately, our goal is to beat Delray by raising the most dollars. So
the losing board has
the gauntlet has been dropped.
I love that. I think that's so fun, and it's such a fun element. And I mean, honestly, who doesn't like a little friendly competition, right? And like you said, Amy, I love your analogy about election day, and everybody wins. That really is just a fantastic way to package that, and everybody does win. And also, I want you to look in the comment box because Act for Alexandria also put, just if anybody wants to see all the different organizations that are participating, and if you're wondering who to support, you can just go right to that page, click it. It's one of the first comments on this episode right now, and you can see all the different organizations. You can go to any of these organizations that these fabulous business leaders in Alexandria have been talking about. So I just want to thank you all so much today for coming on and making Alexandria. You guys really are instrumental in making Alexandria for what it is today. So you guys are just, wonderful examples and leaders of what can possibly take place. And I'll just give you a chance to kind of sign off and give us your closing thoughts. And Lauren, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, well, I just want to give a shout out to Trisha Ritchie. She's been working hard to help set up the business fundraisers and answer all my questions, and Amy too. But especially, I do just want to say, Amy, to you and Charlotte Hole, thank you for bringing up the competition. We love a competition, but again, I think at the end of the day, right, this giving is so infectious, and it's inspiring. It's hard not to be inspired in Alexandria, and so we're really grateful to be part of Spring to Action in this way. And of course, thank you, ACT, for Alexandra for putting this together. We look forward to election/Christmas next week. That's right. We look forward to seeing who's going to be who's still standing at the end of the day. Britt, did you wanna give us some couple of closing thoughts?
I like to leave everything with a call to action, especially for Spring to Action. So I'm going to call everybody to get out, wear your mask, get out, support something, post it, share it, encourage people to do the same, because if you post and one or two people learn that they didn't know before, that's exactly the goal of today. So just do what you can, socially distanced, to get involved.
Yep. That's a beautiful thing about social media, is that it's automatically socially distanced. So that's a good point. I like that. And Amy?
I really don't have much to add. I would second exactly what these two lovely ladies and wonderful business owners have said. Thank you, Susan, for having us here today. Thank you to Zebra. A thank you to ACT for really all that they do year round. Two other points to make. One is, when you're giving to your charity, you'll have the option, I believe, and someone on the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, to pay for the fees, pay for the processing fees. That's a few dollars more. Please consider that. Great point. And also, if you're feeling like you want to tip the host, essentially, we are ACT is also fundraising for the Resilience Fund, Alexandria Resilience Fund, which is a grant making program that they in the city have put together for additional monies for these nonprofits. So, consider another little extra dollar or two for them.
Excellent. Wonderful
And
input.
most importantly, if you don't know about Old Town Business Association or Delray, when you're checking out, just click Delray Business Association for fundraiser.
Yeah. No.
No,
One
Amy
or
has
the
dog
other.
painters coming. We have dogs, caricature people. Oh yeah, you.
I look forward to seeing Dog Alley. You got to start somewhere, right?
I love it. You ladies have the exact right energy that we want for this, and thank you so much for coming on. Brandy, thank you. Of course, another amazing women leader in this town, but she gave the good advice to. Let me give back. You can give early and give often, and again, that's www.spring2action.org. Lauren, Britt, and Amy, thank you so much for your time today, for your energy, for your leadership. Alexandria is a better place for you guys here.
Thanks, Susan.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you for having us.
We'll see you next week, and good luck next Wednesday to everybody. And I can't wait to see who wins.
Thank you.
Okay. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.